into a wheelie bin. The wheelie bin had shifted on its wheels, and a couple of the guards were kind of walking slowly over, and post-mortem was keeping an eye on it all. So who wants to grab first shot and describe what you want to do, or where you want to go, or what you want to say?
I think too, I have in my notes that I think in an attempt to bring us back together, post-mortem had texted me, mitosis.
That's correct. Yeah.
Things were about to go down, or that they needed help or something. So
yes. Yeah.
I think
that's correct.
Can we just I'm just curious, Meredith.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think. So basically, he like gave us a lot of information as far as like the folklore and history. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah. Do you want me just to do a wee recap of what he was saying, just briefly? Are you okay with that?
I'm okay with that. It might help me a little bit. I'm just looking at my notes too. I didn't really take good notes though.
So basically, the basics were, as you'll probably remember, the head belonged to him. He loaned it to the museum. He had this great anxiety that it could cause devastation to the city if the head was used correctly. And actually, we could maybe get into that for a minute or two. He told you a little bit of the legends and the lore, which actually Override had covered a fair bit of on just with these kind of internet searches. And so just having a look at some pics for you guys. So sorry, I'm getting distracted here. So if the head was used right, then potentially Herne the Hunter or the Wild Hunt or whatever the different legends, different names could come and rid the city of all the impurities of the city, which Meredith would go on to tell you that that would include anything that has kind of corrupted the wildness, because the Wild Hunt is about restoring the natural order of things. So he would explain that as well, and that's probably fresh information just now, that the Wild Hunt would restore the natural order of things. And at the same time, Meredith was bemoaning the fact that the industrial part of the city, the pollution of the city, the slums in the city, and how men have just kind of ravaged the land. And there used to be forestry. He said there used to be kind of Indian tribes and all that in times past living in these areas. So his concern is that man's kind of, pillaged the land almost,
Mm-hmm.
And
we've ruined the Garden of Eden, so to speak.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not like if you're a good person, you would survive. It's almost like a cleansing. Of the city.
Yeah, and what the Wild Hunt considers as good or righteous or wholesome is anybody's guess almost, because it is the wild, it is the wildness of nature, Okay. So there's a difference between maybe what the citizens of the city might think are good and bad,
So you don't have to answer this, but I'm just going to think out loud as I get it then. So basically the head was stolen from the museum.
Yep.
It seems to be that it's probably the same group now that Override and Postmortem are at the airport with, because they are some sort of half human, half beast sort of.
They seem to be very animalistic, these people, yeah.
We haven't made that direct connection yet, but I'm just trying to think ahead. That's probably what's happening, but maybe I'm wrong. Did Meredith give us is there any information on, like, is this an actual, like, ritual that we could somehow interrupt, or is it basically we just need to get the head away from them?
Well, when you say that, give me a wee minute. I want to get I want to get a picture up for you just to kind of help get us there. Hopefully that's going to come up.
We're seeing everything, just so you know, if you have spoilers in there.
Yeah.
Don't look at
I thought I'd...
Avert your eyes.
I hope Override's not running ripping off all my files just now. Yeah, I thought I'd opened up all the pictures. Right, it seems to be slowing the thing down just now. So anyway, are you back on camera yet? Or is it still sharing?
It's still sharing on my screen, but it's just a gray
blank,
screen.
yeah.
Yeah, at the top it says you're viewing Ken Trench's screen.
A little bit. There we go, I
Did
think.
Ken lock up? Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, it's not behaving well. Okay, I'll leave Meredith out of the picture in terms of his picture. So, where were we? What were you saying there, Jeff? Sorry.
As far as, like, is this something, if we need to stop this from happening?
Oh, right. Yeah.
Is it as simple as we just need to get the head back, or is there a ritual that we might have to interrupt?
When you ask Meredith that, he scuttles back over to his big book of maps, you know, which is actually full of some of his more kind of secret files that he's maybe still working on. And he says, he rifles through these old papers, and he says there's some legend about the head being and the body coming together again. And when that happens, the hunter will awaken. Okay. So he seems to think that there is something out there that if the head is put on the right thing, possibly a body, possibly something else, that there's something that matches up that will bring the rider back, or is sometimes a rider Herm, or the hunter back.
Yeah. Okay.
So
but not the statue that you have either.
No, he'd got that commission to kind of have it just positioned because it was his favorite item.
So it's not part of that
no.
Body part is not part of the original.
No, but you noticed the way that when you had a look at in the garden, you could see the grooves where it's almost like the headpiece. You might remember from the photograph that there was kind of a little bit of a neck line coming down, so it would sit nicely. So he had that worked, whatever sculptor, to work that so that it would fit in properly and not fall off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would he happen to know where or who may have had the body portion of it? I imagine
he's never been able to find out if that part of the legend is true, or where it could be. He does tell you though he has. One of you give me an investigate roll. Give me an investigate roll. Excuse me a second. I'm just gonna. It's all right. It was just lagging out a bit. It's fine. Okay, doc.
All right, I rolled a 9.
Cool. Was that the dice roll? Did you tag anything on that?
I didn't. Don't know what we're investigating.
So, yeah.
Besides, I wouldn't have had any tags that would have applied here anyway. So.
Well, you could always just be glamorous, I suppose. You know. Yeah, that's fine. Nine's a success anyway. So he tells you that he believes from just his own research of the history of the city and where the city was built and the landscape around the city and beyond, that some of the kind of tribal areas where maybe not so much in the centre of the city or where the old town is, where you are right now, but out kind of out towards, actually where the industrial part is beyond there. He says there's still some forestry left heading out towards the coast. But so he thinks that was some of the tribal lands, but he doesn't know if that's got anything to do with, the head. He actually, as he said, he found the head in Ireland, so it was many miles away.
Okay. Well, that gives us a place to look, at least.
Yep. And actually, it's the industrial part that Chris and Bill were down at with post-mortem. And so they're down in that district, but it's all built up, with smoke piling out chimneys, etc. There is, as Chris did his run around, and maybe, Chris, you want to give us a little kind of recap of your super speed trip round. He did see some of the woods and such like beyond the land of the... So that is possibly the right kind of area for just some of the older part, the old forestry and that. So, Chris, come on, give us a wee bit of... give us a wee montage of super speed stroke, whatever you want.
So, as I'm seeing post-mortem getting ready to step off into the direction of the compound, I go ahead and kind of create this sense of like a bubble of like a time space sort of like ripple that slows everything down around me, and I start running down into the area and passing by a couple people moving things around, very, very slight shifts and stuff like that. So like maybe you could see like the ring of sweat from a cup is in one place where the guy's clearly putting his cup down, and I move the cup over a little bit. So like when time resumes itself, he goes to reach for his cup and he knocks over his drink or something. Just like little things like that, just kind of set everything off. And as I'm looking around for a vantage point for post-mortem, I find this like maybe like a small tower that doesn't seem to have anybody in it, and like keeping this time space bubble, like I'm just kind of like lightly jogging in place to make sure that everything stays relative to me. Seem pretty satisfied with this one, kind of give myself like an assuring nod. And as I'm going back through and finishing my lap around, I decide to kind of mess with a couple more people on my way out, just little bits here and there. And that's when it hits me that I catch a glimpse of one of these guards up close and see I think it was a pig face for this particular one.
Mm-hmm.
And
it kind of reminded you of a wild boar. He had tusks,
like little tusks and stuff, right? And it kind of set me off balance, and it shocked me to the point where I kind of started losing my balance, and you can kind of see kind of like the ripple around me is starting to like shudder and like close in, and I quickly dart behind one of the small buildings and let it all go for a brief second just to catch my breath, and like kind of dropped to like a knee, and look back up and was like, what the hell was that? And then immediately just kind of try and resume it again and rush back out to try and give post-mortem a heads up. And just in my craze, I just pop out of this bubble, come right out the other side, right next to him, stumbling over. And I think I fell into a wheelbarrow.
Yeah, it was like one of these big wheel bins,
right?
Big industrial bins.
Oh, right. It was, yeah. And I had collapsed and made some noise that's apparently alerted some of the guards. They were wondering what it was, and they start heading in this direction. And the only thing I could get out saying to post-mortem at first was animal people. I'm just shouting like, animal people. Dude, I don't know what they are, but they are not normal. And I think that's when post-mortem ends up contacting mitosis to ask how quickly they can get down here.
Yeah, so the message comes through within a couple of minutes. So what I imagined, if this sounds cool, is when you hit the bin, the wall of the bin, it just crumples in, and it's like, because of this kind of speed time thing that's going on, it's like there's not even a bruise on you, but it's the momentum of the impact rather than the weight of your body. So the momentum of the impact it makes it crumple like paper, so you're kind of smelling the inside of this bin that's probably just been lying out in the street for a year or 2 years and never, not being used. It's just rubbish really in the bottom of the industrial area. And it begins to roll, kind of roll squeakily across the pavement or across the road. And that's what alerts the two, we'll call them beastmen for want of another word, the two beastmen from the front of the guard post at the front gate where the old airport is. So really you're at the moment, you're lying in with this kind of stinking, just black bin rolling. You feel the momentum of it rolling across the ground. And when you shout or say beastmen, I'm guessing Postmortem's got his sights out immediately to spy on. Is somebody want to take kind of control of Bill's character for the game? Have you been allocated that, Jeff, or what?
I'm okay, but if anybody else wants to too, like even like Chris, like if you want to bounce back and forth, because like then you can.
Yeah, well, why don't you do it between the two of you then?
Yeah. Okay.
Does that sound all right?
Yeah, definitely.
Just don't give him a personality crisis. Don't have him doing two different things at the same time.
I feel like I need to go out and buy a bearded dragon now.
Yeah, it's quite cool. So let's cut back from that moment again where we finished up with last episode, and we'll go back to Meredith's house. What do you guys? What's the discussion, or what do you want to do right now over at Meredith's home?
Well, I mean, I think we've got enough information to go on, so we can say our goodbyes and then head towards over what is it? Overdrive.
Overdrive, yeah.
Overdrive and
Override.
Sorry.
Oh, good.
And we can make our way towards there. I mean, that's where we need to head anyway. So.
Okay, so do you call your driver or something along that line and get going?
I put in I called the car and the car zooms up. It's Tesla.
So what is this Tesla thing? Is it like automatic pilot or something like that? What?
Yeah, I believe the new Teslas have that feature in there. That's currently out now.
Right.
That's awesome. The
Automatic.
future is now.
So as you guys are heading over, it's probably going to take you, you're kind of over the other side of town. So I would say it would take you maybe 20 minutes to get there because you guys aren't override. But as you leave Meredith, you can see that Meredith, as you go, his moustache is still twitching away, and he's taking your hand. Even Frank's hands, his hands are tiny in your hands, Frank. He's like little. I don't know. There's something about him that's kind of very mousy. Just his behaviour and his nervousness, and he just seems like a little mouse to you. And you're towering over him, and he seems genuinely delighted that he's met people that somehow or other understand the way he thinks, or the things that he writes about or thinks about. So we could say that's a good connection for you for the future as well. You may obviously bump into him in this episode again, but it's a good connection. While we're talking about that, just a wee reminder that Frank has +1 help for working with Cassandra. So if you guys are doing something together, there's a +1 available for you. And Postmortem had a +2 in the tracking, but I think we've already kind of got to the site, so we're okay with that. On the way, now let me see if I can actually screen share something decent this time.
Ken, why don't you try? Hold on, before you hit the button, let me see.
Yep.
Because when I hit, what I do, and I think it seems to be working good, is what I do is I open the image in the program first.
Yep.
So that's in the background.
Yep. I'm gonna do that just now. I had that done. That's why I'm kind of confused just now with this. I had them all open.
Okay.
And I've restarted Zoom, so somehow or other they must have gone off, and I maybe put them off by mistake. So,
okay.
What to do?
And then when I hit the share button, I can see every open file, and I can just click on the one that's open.
Yeah. Right. So what I would suggest is look away from the screen just now, because I'm going to open a bunch of pictures. Right.
Okay.
Just I'll give you a shout in 2 seconds. I don't want you to see everything that you may see in the next few minutes.
What program are you using, by the way?
Well, I've just got JPEGs in a file, really.
Okay. You're on a PC, right?
Yeah, a laptop, yeah. Okay. Just give me a minute or two, guys. I apologise for this. I did have all this done before, but I think maybe when I closed off Zoom earlier, I must have put this off by mistake.
No problem.
And 20 seconds more, and we're done.
Wayne, we got into talking a little about ISPs last night. I was curious, are you on Comcast?
Yeah.
Is that your only option? I'm assuming since Comcast headquarters is in Philly, I assume.
No, we have Verizon as well.
Oh, you do have that option? Okay.
Yeah. And I might switch over in October, because my year, I think, comes up in October. So unless they give me a better deal.
Yes.
Is this your internet provider?
Yeah. I'll try to play them off each other. I'm like, well, Verizon is offering this.
Yep. You got to play the game.
Okay, as you guys are heading over to rushing as fast as you can to see... did that picture just go?
Still waiting for it to...
I think it was just loading up. As you guys are rushing over in the car, you happen to notice on your kind of news item, Cassandra, just one of the reporters that you tend to follow, she's done some work for you in the past. And if you have a look at her, you can tell me if you spot what movie she was from. And just a really weird kind of news item catches your eye, as these things sometimes kind of do when you have the mythos working in your life. And I don't know if somebody wants to have a little read through of that, or scan and just pick out anything that gets your attention.
Murders, superstitious girl. Readers will know often cover the crimes of the cover-ups in our good city, but over the last 2 months, I've been a little quiet. Started off as a hunch. So last month, second killing. I'm asking the question: will we have a third this month? What's her name? Her name's Jenny Waters. Okay. Is that Drew Barrymore?
No.
Okay.
I thought that was Leah Thompson. But then again, my eyes aren't working as well.
I don't know the actress's name, but I know what movie she was in. Carry on with the article and I'll tell you at the end.
Now, before you think I'm paranoid, let me give you the facts. The powers that be don't want me to give you. First attack almost 3 months ago was in a down and out whose body was found in the industrial district. You might think that's not unusual, and I would agree, but two things were strange about the case. First, the savage nature of the attack, a word used by sources, the old man's coat was torn to shreds. Second, it happened on a full moon. There are strange symbols nearby too, but I don't want to get carried away here. Doing what I do, notice the small details. Then just over a month ago, the blue-collar worker was murdered near the edge of the cross end. Not exactly the nicest area in town, I agree, but watch the details. The man was middle-aged on his way back from a night out after a hard day's work. His clothes were shredded, in quotes, in tatters. Clothing line as far away as 12 feet. Ring a bell, anyone? Can I tell you when this happened? On the 30th, and yes, it happens to be the night of a full moon. No photographs were released because of the disturbing nature of both crimes, and did I mention there were strange designs on the body? No, I'm not suggesting werewolves and vampires. That would be ridiculous. But I am asking the question, are we approaching our next full moon? Is there a brutal killer with a growing confidence at work? Are they moving closer to the downtown with this confidence, or is it all still my imagination? Whatever may or may not happen over the next few nights, stay safe, citizens. Look after each other and don't go home alone, especially on the night of a full moon. Jenny Waters is a special reporter for the City Chronicle, online and daily editions, and our email address.
Okay, so she previously worked in, can't remember the name of their city. She was the reporter out of the movie The Mask, that girl.
Okay.
Who I was quite annoyed at the end of the movie when she kind of turned the tables and gave Jim Carrey away to the bad guys, you know. But anyway, that's another story. So yeah, you just happened to notice that, and as Wayne had commented on last time, you know, it is approaching the end of the month. It's actually 28th just now, so we're nearly there. Maid Marian, yeah. I don't know. She could have been in Men in Tights. I don't know. I can't remember that movie too well. So let's cut back as you're traveling on and reading your news articles and talking in your Tesla. Chris and Postmortem, those two guys are moving towards you. They're not on a all-out attack, but they heard the noise. They've seen some kind of movement. And they're heading on their way over. Chris, is perhaps you've kind of sat up and got out of that hole you made in the side of the bin. You can see Postmortem's got his rifle, I believe it is, at the ready, and he's got these two characters in their sight. They haven't. It looks like they haven't quite seen where you are. But maybe if you make a move, they'll be able to spot you. So,
all right,
over to you, Override, and Postmortem.
What's my rifle like? Do I have like a silencer or anything like that? Or like if I shot, it would ring out loud, wouldn't it?
Well, I think Bill described Postmortem as an assassin. So I'm guessing you would have the capability to silence.
Do I have any way to communicate with Override?
Sure,
I should be right next to you, right?
Yeah, you're very close to each other.
Oh, okay.
Because when I came out of my speed, I had stopped at you and hit the bin that was near you.
Oh, okay.
It says here for his power tag, Jeff, it's an Ion 9 Blast Sniper rifle. He's got a force field generator, tracking device. He can't die because he's already dead. He doesn't need to breathe, and he needs no food or drink. He's also got martial arts, stealth, and marksmanship, tracking, interrogation, and alert. So he's quite well equipped for a fight.
I'm kind of giving Override the look of. I mean, I can deal with these two if you want, but unless you have a better idea, because that's going to draw attention eventually.
Unless I have a better idea of dealing with beast people, animal people. I've never seen this in my life. What are you talking about? Let me just Google search it. Like, override, go search everything. Go look for his Google searches. I like kind of mutter to myself. I'm like going over my smartphone.
Override realizes that he's talking to an undead man while he's saying this. So yeah, you're maybe a little bit freaked out by what you saw.
Yeah, and like, I imagine that there are probably like thousands of pages of animal people hybrid stuff of just like people like doctoring, like photoshopping pictures together, and tabloid sites and all sorts of things, like Bat Boy comes up and everything.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So you're having all these, maybe your mind's kind of super speed, I don't know, where flashes of all of those conspiracy papers, you know, what's that? Is it the Inquirer, the big one in the States? You know, all of those ridiculous stories, you know, on the front page, and, you know, mermaids and whatever, Bat Boys and all that.
My wife gave birth to a cow person.
It's true. It's all true.
It's all true. So,
but probably nothing. I mean, like, not having actually faced anything like this in the past, nothing I can really think of. But from doing the searches on her and the Wild Hunt and stuff like that, was it possible that I recall seeing or hearing anything about that during that time?
kind of about Animal Men or something?
Yeah.
No, it didn't really. It didn't suggest that there would be, for want of a better word, kind of like were creatures or bestial men. It's more, there was in some of the stories, there's references to things like the hounds, and the hounds are part of the Wild Hunt. There's references to, in some of the legends, Herne rides on a steed. But there's no kind of beast men or anything like that. And
so this really honestly just kind of cements my like unease and uncertainty of what we're getting into, because not only have I never even heard of anything like this before, even dealing with the things that we're looking into, nothing's even surfaced about that. So I like, Override is just really completely unsure of what to make of this, and even like going through his phone and like doing like a quick search and stuff like that, not finding anything is just, it's not helping the situation for him.
Yeah, so maybe post-mortem, you know, maybe you can describe, you're seeing some uncertainty, a nervousness or an uncertainty. So you guys work that out between you, what you want. What I can tell you is it looks like they do have walkie-talkies, some of these guys. You did notice that, Override, when you did your loop around the building. You saw that there was one or two of them had walkie-talkies. That's like the level of communication. But at the moment, you haven't seen them use it. Post-mortem's had his eye on them since they moved through the scope, and you know that there's been no call yet, and there's nobody else following them. They were the only two beastmen at the gate. So at the moment, you're kind of perhaps have a minute or two of safety, knowing, unless of course they get the walkie-talkie out and start buzzing it.
I don't know what to do. Should I? I'm sure there's like a rock on the ground. I wonder if I could throw a rock and distract them a second time to get them away from us, or should I just take them out?
Just channel Bill. What would Bill do in this scenario?
That's a good point. I think he would take them out then.
Yeah,
Probably would be not as much hesitation as what I have.
Yeah, I agree.
He definitely, I don't know if it's just as post-mortem or if it's just him as a player in general. He typically seems to know exactly what he's going to go and do, and like just before he's about to do it. And even when he makes the decision, I've noticed he's just kind of like 2 seconds. He's all right, let's do this.
So let's say, so Bill, if you're watching this, we're trying to interpret your personality right now. And let's just let Mitosis crush his heart of compassion right now and go into the heart of postmortem.
Let me twirl my mustache up like those guys. All right, then in that case, yeah, I'll take the my pistol. I'm sure I have probably a pistol with a silencer.
You can have whatever you want.
As like a little emergency backup to the sniper rifle.
Mm-hmm.
And I will take aim, and when they get within range, I'll try to take the first one out with a clean headshot.
Sure. Okay, so do you want to hit them with all you've got then?
Yeah, Yeah, that's basically like your attack move.
Yeah.
Much, right?
Yep. That's your, especially if you want to do a headshot, you're wanting to get rid of the threat. So that would be the case right now.
Yep. Okay. When you have a clear shot, you use your abilities. That's exactly then. Let me see. Do I have any tags here?
I'm sure you do.
Yeah.
Have you got the character sheet, or do you want me to give you the info?
Yeah. No, I pulled it out. Yep. Marksmanship, definitely. Stealth, I don't know. We are sort of hidden at the moment.
Well, it kind of makes sense because they don't actually know where you are exactly. They don't even know if there is a threat. They know that there's something going on. So, yeah, I think in this case, the stealth would actually help. Yeah.
Okay. I think I'll call it a 2 then.
Okay, go for it.
Yes. 8 plus 2 is a 10.
Nice. So, on a 10 plus, you get to choose 2 from that list there with hit them all from all you've got. You can take cover or secure a superior position, which makes real sense actually in this situation just now. If you don't choose this, they can impose a status. You get them good or you get many of them. That's like +1. So that's like +1 damage to them. You can control the collateral damage. You can hold the target's attention. Or you can gain the upper hand and get a juice or a +1. But you can take 2 of those effects.
Take cover, secure superior positions. So that sounds appealing.
You said that there's 2 guards approaching.
That's right. Yep.
You get them good or get many of them. What do you think, Ken? Is that something I could use to take them both out, or would that be a second attack on the second one?
I'm happy for you to. I would suggest that you were going for the headshot, right? So
yeah.
I would suggest that you get, if you want, you can get the headshot.
Okay.
And possibly wound the second guy.
Okay.
Or you could wound them both so that they're kind of down on the ground but not dead, you know?
Okay, so the way I see it then is I'll have plenty of time to aim carefully for the first guy, so I'll take him out completely. And then maybe in that split second where the guard realizes something just happened, I won't have as much time to aim, so maybe in that case I would wound the second guy.
Okay, and so that's like a +1. So he's just got a status of 1. So he's got a status of wounded.
Yep. Okay.
Why don't you describe what happens? You know, how do you wound him? Remember, we'll say that. Let me ask you: did you shoot the guy with the walkie-talkie or the other? Who was the headshot?
Oh, I wasn't thinking that far ahead. I mean, if I have the option now, clearly I would say the guy with the walkie-talkie.
Okay.
Meta gamer.
So yeah, and this game's okay for that. You know, it's quite. I think it's quite happy for you to sometimes retrospectively. You know, if you're building the story, it's all good. So I want to encourage you guys in our time together today that feel free to. Mostly in RPGs, as you know, the GM tells you everything that you see. I'm happy for you to tell me what you see. You know, you can describe the buildings, you can describe some of the setting. That's I think that's part of the fun of the kind of narrative style of this game. Anyway, so yeah, the walkie-talkie clatters to the ground. We'll say that you got the Tusk guy and his friend who just looks very furry and hairy. kind of growls and just is absolutely shocked, and you shoot him. Maybe where do you clip him somewhere?
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe I'll clip him in his bicep or something. So
Okay, so you get him in one of the arms, and he's got some kind of truncheon or club in that hand, and the arm's just kind of hanging down a little bit.
Okay.
So, what about Chris? Do you want to do anything? Are you just still a bit overwhelmed?
I think I was probably overwhelmed, and now it's becoming apparent to me that because it was under my impression that we were waiting for people to get there, and knowing that the time was kind of sensitive in this particular moment, I wasn't quite expecting postmortem to go off right away.
Yeah.
So the gunshots startled me, and it's still got me like a brief moment of pause. Like I haven't taken any action or anything like that yet, but I'm just kind of like, oh man, this is for real. Like
it's almost like you're in your what the game calls logos, which is your human part of you, and the mythos is like the powerful part of you, or the mythic or superpowered part of you. So you're kind of in that young man's brain trying to work out what's going. And just as your head's rolling through, you see that the kind of. Do you remember the old werewolf movie? I think it was Lon Chaney or somebody like that. He just had the kind of fur coming out around his. This is what the other guy looks like, and his arms dropped. He's trying to hold on to this kind of truncheon or baton he's got, and he realizes he's been shot at, so he drops down and he's kind of crawling over to get the walkie-talkie.
Snap out of it. Get the walkie-talkie.
So can I act on that then?
Sure.
So as soon as postmortem tells me to snap out of it, I look back over in the direction of the one dead and the walkie-talkie sitting there, and now the prowling other beastman who's kind of scrambling for the walkie, and I kick in with my super speed to try and rush over and grab it before he does.
Go for it. Tell me what you want to tag on that then.
Super speed. I'm not acting before it happens because I just snapped out of this.
Sure.
And I'd say the walkie probably already hit the ground, so no good catcher. I think I would only honestly get the one.
Okay, well, I want to tag a weakness because of these moments of confusion you've had. And under hipster section there, it says tries too hard. So you've kind of been overthinking it, and now you're launching into action. So that means you're not getting any plus, and you're just going to have to go with the dice roll. Let's see what happens.
Okay. Oh, one fell to the ground. That one is a 2. That's not good. That one on the ground. Whoops. 3, so 5.
Okay, so
not great.
So override. Tell us what happens as you burst out of this kind of confused moment, and I need to do something because you're feeling the pressure of post-mortem, saying get a grip, young man. What happens? What happens with the super speed?
I'd say that so this is going to be, obviously since I failed, this is going to be purely a negative effect then, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So
but you can make it fun nevertheless.
So I'm rushing over to try and get to this walkie before he does, and I slip on my first step, and my phone goes down with my hand, and I catch myself on the cement, and I slam my phone onto the cement, and it cracks the screen.
That's
yet because I'm focused on that. I'm focused on the getting the walkie there, and I try and catch my balance, and I spring off, and I kind of like twist my wrist at the same time, and it kind of like it pains me for a second, and you can see like the distortion around me. The little bubble is just really wobbly and wavy, and I rush over to go and get the walkie, and I trip myself like from like all my overthinking and everything, and I trip myself just before it ends up happening. And when I come out of that bubble, I like come like the full like home run slide like just before it happens, but I fall short maybe 6 inches from the walkie.
Okay, that's cool. And probably the worst trauma that you've experienced for a long time, you've broken your mobile phone. You know, you've broken the cell phone. So, so you literally come like sliding in, you know, and you are probably 2 feet away from this kind of hairy guy reaching for, and he eyeballs you angrily. You can see his kind of bloodshot eyes and all the hair kind of bristling out, and he's got kind of teeth, you know, jaggedy teeth. You think he's kind of a little bit doggish like, but he's not got a long snout. He's just got a kind of normal face, and he's growling under his teeth as he's reaching for this walkie-talkie. Post-mortem, do you want to do anything just now as you're watching the disaster that is Override's tackle?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to try to finish him off then with another shot.
Okay. Go for it.
Hit him with all you got.
Go for it.
Any with tags I can do again? Wrong one. Marksmanship, I think, would be
marksmanship. Yep.
Standard.
We won't include the stealth this time because he knows where you are.
Yep. So probably just that one.
Are you using the sniper rifle, or are you using the pistol still?
Still the silenced pistol. Yeah.
Okay.
5.
Oh no.
So you have
oh no.
You have Override has just slid in there, you know, almost like touching base, you know, baseball and all that. You've got this hairy dude reaching for it, and I don't know what's happened, you know, it's this insane killer assassin type. He's just, what's happening with that bullet you've just fired?
Yeah, I think I was probably just distracted. Like I was waiting too long because I was watching Override, and then when I saw that he didn't quite get there, then that's when I shot, but I wasn't quite ready yet, so I missed.
Okay, I want to suggest that maybe the bullet is spinning dangerously close to Override.
Okay.
As it's aimed. And Override, you with that kind of sense and a bubble, as you describe it, of energy or time shift, you hear that sound almost like whistling coming towards the back of your head or close to. Do you want to make a move at this point?
Yeah, I think
you can face.
as
far as the game's concerned, you can face danger, which is
I don't have
avoid an incoming hit.
That's the sheet I don't have out right now.
I will put that up for you.
I knew it was missing something earlier, and I completely forgot. I saw it up on the screen, and I didn't even think to grab it. It's just across the room. I could probably go get it too.
Oh, that's cool. I'll put it up. I'll go ahead and get it then, because this is...
Yeah, no problem.
Oh, there it is. That should be it.
There it is. Yep.
So face danger when you use your abilities to avoid an incoming hit, endure harm, resist a malign influence, or hold it together. I'll name a status with a tag and a tier, and then you roll plus your power, and on a 10 plus you fend it off and have no effects at all. So you really need to get a 10 to have 0 effects. Yeah. Or you could have the option of change the game. Okay.
I was thinking that.
And that allows you to create a tag, a story tag, which means you can now narrate what you want to happen if you're successful, and you also get juice, which is like bonus to spend. On a 10 plus, you get 2 juice.
Yeah, can I try that? I want to do.
Sure.
I want to do change the game.
Yep. What powers are you using in this instance?
I'm going to use act just before it happens.
Yep.
I'm going to use super speed. I'm going to need that for sure. And
Yep.
I'm thinking perfect spatial sense, because what
Absolutely. Yep.
I'm looking to do is and feel free to tell me that this is
No, that makes sense.
absurd, but I'm thinking if I kind of feel that the bullet is coming towards me, and I'm able to burst into this this speed to grab the guard and bring him in front of where the bullet was coming, to block the bullet from hitting me, and now successfully hitting the guard.
Okay, that's very creative. Okay. And actually the spatial sense makes sense in this situation, because I think that's what would have alerted you to the bullet coming in the first place. That's spatial awareness. So that's a +3 on your roll.
Okay.
Go for it. And let's see if you can change again.
No pressure.
No pressure. So that's going to put me at a 9 with the +3. Yeah.
With the +3. Okay.
Yeah.
So on a let's see. On a hit, you get juice equals power. So that was that was +3. So you've actually got 3 juice. Spend your juice to get the following effects 1-1. So you can actually buy all of the following effects if you want to in a winner. Create a story tag. So that's what you're already doing just now by your description. You can burn a power tag or a story tag. That's something like a negative effect that's happening just now, which isn't really affecting you yet. But you could burn the story tag of the bullet, or you can give or reduce a status. You've not really got a negative status just now. So you can use juice. I would say you could use your extra juice. You can basically store the juice for the next little while. So you can create a story tag right now, and you can burn a tag or a story tag. And the story tag that we're really on just now is that the beast guy is reaching for that walkie-talkie. So how do you want to do that? How do you want to describe that to us? And you've got a juice still to spend.
So I was thinking that I just kind of I'm like, I feel like I just completely failed postmortem in all this, and I get that moment where I feel like the bullet, like the spatial sense is letting me know that bullet's on its way, and it's getting really damn close to me. Being unsure of if that will actually hit me, I quickly kind of jolt myself up, grab the Beastman's wrist, and pull him towards me, and kind of pull him in a way that I kind of flip myself over, and the Beastman falls on top of me. So when the bullet hits the ground, we both land right there, and it goes through and hits him instead.
Cool. Okay. Does the bullet ricochet off the ground and hit him, or does it hit him directly when you do your crazy stunt?
In my mind, it was that since I thought the bullet was going to be hitting me, that I would end up using him as a body shield.
Sure. Okay. Okay. We'll say that you hear a thud as the bullet hits in. You hear a groan, And he actually had the walkie-talkie in his hand by this time. And as all of that movement happens, the walkie-talkie comes flying out of his hand, scatters across the floor. It looks broken, and it's lying over towards where post-mortem is, and the Beastman's unconscious, dead or dying.
So I feel like he's basically dead weight on Override right now.
Yeah.
And there's that moment where it's like just stillness, and I don't know if postmortem feels like, you know, like who got hit in the middle of all that, and there's like that 5-second delay, and Override throws his thumbs up in the air, but he can't, like, he's like struggling to get the guy off of him.
What does postmortem say to all of this?
I kind of look at my gun like there's something wrong with it. Like, I shouldn't have missed that. Make a little tiny adjustment. Give him a thumbs up back.
Okay.
I can't see that because my head's like pinned against the cement, like in the opposite direction.
Now, you may remember before all of this happened, there was a clanging of a kind of bell or something like that, and so the reason that you've been very fortunate right now is that it seemed like everybody was amassing in the main room, the main kind of old airport building, and there is an old hangar, kind of dilapidated hangar lying out there, but the main kind of airport building, which is a bit of a wreck actually, but it's where where most of the Beastmen were. They were basically going to get fed, as Override would have seen at the time. Just to give you a basic image, so you guys are down at the street level in front of the gate, and can you see that just now?
Yep.
So you guys are around here somewhere, maybe just somewhere in the street, a little bit further back. This is the little outhouse where the two guards walked out to about here, and that's where all the action happened. So you've got two bodies lying about here. There was somebody earlier circling around about the sky, flying about, and you also saw Bird Boy, and they were hanging about the tower, but they've now all seemed to have gone into the main building here. Mm-hmm. So you're quite lucky. It's about 6:30 at night now. It's beginning to get a little bit dark, and nobody seems to have noticed the action. You can hear post-mortem, you can hear a kind of little buzz and crackle on the walkie-talkie that's lying nearby. So obviously there's still power in it, but the casing's kind of half open. What do you want to do just now before your friends get over to you?
I'm going to, like in a wrestling match, I'm going to tag out and tag Wayne to take over post-mortem.
Okay. Welcome, post-mortem Mark II.
All right. So where are we? All right. So I'm going to, unlike my predecessor, I'm going to ditch the pistol and pull out the sniper rifle, more powerful weapon.
Sure.
All right. So who do I have in my? This is the other question. Who do I have in my current sights right now?
Well, are you scanning across the area here?
Yeah.
Okay, you can see that kind of through windows and such like, there seems to be a large door there. You suspect there's something probably similar on the other side. That's where the old runway would be along the top of the picture. And you can see through like this doorways half open through windows. As you're scanning along, they see there's quite a lot of noise beginning to come from there. You can actually hear it from where you're standing, although that's quite a few yards down there. And there seems to be a lot of talking, a lot of animal noises amongst it, and a lot of eating going on. You can see them getting really stuck in, to their kind of bowls of food or soup or whatever it is that they're getting into. And there's just quite a lot of noise going on.
Does it seem like there's somebody that might be the leader of these guys?
Give me an investigate. And tag what I'll tell you what postmortem has that you can potentially tag.
I got a 6.
You got a 6, okay. Now, so you're using your scope here. So I would suggest your Ion 9 sniper rifle scope would be a tag. You can, oh, by the way, you've also got to remember the tracking device, so you can see the Bird Boys thing moving about a little bit, not overly, but going back and forward within the building. You also have tracking and alert and marksmanship, so probably marksmanship for the scope, I would suggest, and alert, so that's +2. Does that sound fair?
So that's an 8 altogether then.
Yeah. Okay, so so what do you want to know? Basically, if you can see somebody that's in charge, the answer is yes. There's a really large looking dude that seems to be not threatening anyone within the building or anything like that, but he seems to be walking around them, talking to them, slapping one or two of them in the back and nearly knocking them across the table because he's so large. And you managed to catch him in a moment, and he looks a little bit like that.
Okay.
So you can see from the body language as you're trying to follow him between kind of window slots, and that he seems to be the big personality in the room. And
right.
So yeah, it looks like there's some kind of leader in the room.
All right.
I've got to say as well, see when you're scanning across there must be at least 35, 40 plus people.
Okay.
So it's not like 5 or 6. It's there's a lot going on in there.
All right. Here's the other question too. What we have, like, I guess, what postmortem have placed like a tracer or tracking device on Cassandra and mitosis to have a better idea. I mean,
do you think
I don't. I mean, if I was Bill, I probably would.
Do you mean sneakily? He actually put a little. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Like your postmortem right now. So if you want that to be the case, that's the case. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to check that device to see how far away they are from us.
Well, they're getting pretty close. They're maybe just 3 or 4 minutes away.
Okay. Now I'm looking to see where Override is, and I guess I'll signal him to get into a sort of, I guess, hidden position, like a ambush type of a position.
Yeah.
And if they do come out, we'll attack. But I want to set it up so that when Cassandra and mitosis comes, that we can all like move in, and we'll have better strength in numbers right now. But meanwhile, I am going to have my rifle trained on who seems to be the leader, the guy who seems to be the leader.
Yeah, I mean it's difficult to follow him all the time because your vantage point's kind of more street level and a little bit limited. But you can see him kind of walking about, and you can hear. You can't really make out from this area, but you can hear a big booming voice, and you can see he's huge. He's about the size of mitosis, in terms of physique and build, and
we'll leave that guy to mitosis. If my
I want to see that fight.
You do have at least 35 or 40 others as well to consider. One of the things that postmortem is good at, I'll say as well. I think does he? I thought he had stealth. Oh, he has got stealth. He's got stealth. So if you need to do some sneaky stuff, you can do that too. Let's cut to the fact that Mitosis and Cassandra arrive, and perhaps postmortem even phones them to say, don't pull up right on, on site. So you tell them what's happened, so they're completely aware of what's happening. So here you are outside this area. You notice that the whoever's closest to the walkie-talkie, you can hear some garble coming through, like somebody's talking and asking, something, but it's difficult to hear exactly because it's lying in kind of two bits with the wires in between. It sounds like somebody's talking to whoever else is on the radio.
I will ask Overdrive, is it possible for him to hack into their feed and maybe connect it to our earpieces?
That's what I had done last session when we arrived there, because I wanted to try and get an idea of the patrols, but I'm pretty sure they were just like basic like two-way radios, like just on that frequency.
All right.
Yeah. We could say that Override can tinker with the thing and get a little bit of a better sound out of it if you want. And it sounds like there's just a kind of check, every so often, how's it going out there kind of thing, So you're hearing something like that and it seems to be repeating. So they're maybe just wanting a check-in.
It makes sense that if everybody's and they're the only two guards outside, that they're trying to get that, is everything okay? What's going on?
Yeah.
When I did my earlier montage of going around the facility, did I happen to have a count of how many guards there were outside? Or were these the only two that I noticed that were outside?
There was only really two guards, and there was the guy flying about using the tower as his base, and the bird boy was also hanging about there, but they both went into the building. I'll also say that as you did your route round the building, that like in this part here on the left-hand side seemed to be kind of more like offices and a bit of a kind of open office area. And this main area was very open and where all the tables are out and all the food's been eaten.
Okay.
What do you mean tables? I'm just picturing like they all have their own little dog bowl.
Yeah, well, they do walk in their own 2 feet, But there's various. I would say that it's literally quite a menagerie. It's a mix of people that are more animalistic and people that are more people-y with animal qualities.
Yeah. Okay.
So you would say it's kind of like a ramshackle gathering of people who have somehow come together because of their condition, especially with all of the graffiti around the building, and there was this kind of sense of like some kind of revolutionary group almost, the way the graffiti is.
I'm glad you said something, Jeff, because when he described that image in my head, I just imagined just like a pig trough and everybody's just like community eating out of it.
No, they've got tables out and they're all
okay.
chatting and laughing and joking and grunting and making strange noises.
Well, that being said, can I assume at this point I've gotten the guy off me and everything. I want to grab the walkie-talkie and just kind of do a quick inspection to see if it needs to be repaired in any way, or if I will be able to actually say something like get a
Yeah,
better sound out of
you
it.
could easily just kind of almost snap it together, you know, and make sure maybe one of the wires is a bit frayed, just kind of squeeze the wires together and then kind of snap it together, and you can easily get it running. It's no big problem.
Okay. So I'll end up doing that, picking it back up and kind of retwist one of the wires back. At that point, is there any sort of a clear message coming through?
You just how's it going? You guys all right out there?
So like that sound comes through the walkie-talkie, and I kind of hold it up to towards postmortem is here at this point. Excalibur and mitosis are here with us, right?
Yeah, everybody's
Okay, so I kind of hold out the walkie to them, and I just kind of like look at them, and I shrug, and I hold the walkie out.
Does anybody want to take a shot?
I think mitosis will put together the fact that these are like beastmen, and he's a big, burly guy, so he might have the most beast-like voice versus young.
Okay.
young
Let's hear it and make it convincing.
Oh boy! So I'll take the mic. I'm gonna keep it short. It's all good.
You hear it going. Okay, that's cool. What took you so long? Somebody will be out in 10 to let you get your dinner. See you in a bit.
Roger.
Comes back on. Don't call me Roger.
Roger.
Okay, so sounds like you've got 10 minutes to do something. At least until somebody appears, you know?
Yeah, is there, so this building they're in, is there imagine there's a roof to it. Is
Yes.
there a sort of is it like a flat roof? Is there a sort of window type of a roof?
Yep, absolutely. You're right, it is a flat roof, but it's kind of raised areas. So say, for example, on the building itself, there's some raised areas and there's windows that you can see down into the main building. So yeah, you could, if you go on around the building or onto the building, you can see there's a kind of fire exit, which is an easy way up to on the kind of, if you imagine the roofs, the buildings like on like there, and then there's a kind of other level, and then there's a slight rise and another kind of almost like a second floor, but not quite. And there's windows around that, so you could easily get up on top of the roof and do that. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, Excalibur is going to make her way.
Okay.
To the roof.
So do you want to sneak about then?
But before we do, let's run through the plan. So, me as Excalibur, I'm going to, you give me, and I'll point to postmortem. You give me the signal. I'll crash in through the roof and start the party, basically. You take out the big guy. And she's pointing to postmortem. And mitosis, you should come along with me.
That's a lot of people. You sure we're ready for this?
Well, you're big and strong, and we're going to take out the leader. And once the leader how about this? When I'm in position, I'll give postmortem the signal. Postmortem will take his shot at the leader. And the moment that he falls, I'll crash through the window. Or we both can crash through the window, drop down, and start the party. Now, here's the other question. Is there any sort of security protocol, like posted around this area, like turrets or anything like that? Any sort
In the actual airport grounds, you mean?
Yeah.
There's only the tower at off to the side there, where, let me just pull that up again for you. So there's that's the main building there, and there's a tower here. It's a bit dilapidated, it's not in good condition, and the windows are broken out. But that's where a couple of the flying guys had been. But you think that they had gone into the main building.
Okay. Are these guys armed with weapons like guns or something like that?
Well, we'll say some of them, maybe, but not all of them.
All right. But we can, I mean, from our vantage point, we can pretty much spot who has a weapon and who
Sure.
doesn't.
Yeah.
So now I'll turn to Overdrive and I'll say, when we get the party started, maybe you run in there and I guess snatch their weapons, or at least I don't know if you can carry all of their weapons, but at least get them out of their hands at the moment. So when they go to shoot, they don't have a weapon to shoot with.
I can give it a shot. No pun intended. But I mean,
As you're discussing the plan, you hear kind of a little bit of a noise, and it sounds like there's some kind of movement in the building, and you're seeing beyond the building, on the other side of the building, you're catching some kind of lights. It's beginning to get dark now. You know, we're hitting about 7 o'clock or so, and it looks like a fire has been lit on the other side near where the runway is. So there's some activity going on the other side of the building just now.
Okay.
I mean, I could probably do that. I just don't know how many there are. What if I miss one?
Well, I mean, I'll point out. We'll point out the ones who seem to be armed. Go for them. Try to do your best. That's all I'm asking. It doesn't have to be perfect, but if we can get most of the weapons out of the way, then that should be fine.
And you're speaking as Excalibur right now?
Yeah.
Okay. And he just kind of does like this little sort of like a exaggerated like mock salute, and he's like, "You got it, Excalibur." Like, he snaps his heels together and everything.
Okay. I'll shrug and. All right. I would imagine that Postmortem has all sorts of gadgets. Does he have like a grappling hook type of deal, or I could just have one?
You can have one if you want, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have, instead of like going around and trying to climb up, if we're at a elevated level, I will have him fire it across, and we can sort of slink down.
So where are you just now then? Are you still out on a street level, or have you moved?
It's that building right inside.
So you're there just now? Is that what you're saying?
No. So like, okay, right off the street level, there's something to the left.
Yeah, that's like a guardhouse. It's just like a kind of little guardhouse.
Okay, so just single level. Okay, then never mind. I thought that might have been a little.
What you could do, because there's some activity the other side of the building, you can make your move to get on top of the building, if that's what you're wanting to do, see through the skylights, if that's what you were thinking. If you were going to go to the tower, it's a little bit more exposed. Now, you could do it with a sneak around, but it is a little bit more exposed on the other side if there's some bodies beginning to spill out there and kind of hang about there.
Actually, I mean, I was going to say let Postmortem take the tower because they have the best advantage point, especially with a sniper rifle.
Sure.
So he can. I'll send him over there, and then if he needs to drop down, he can shoot his little grapple down to this roof, and then from there he can make his way down.
Right, that's fine. As you're discussing that, one of you catch somebody ambling up through the doorway, heading up this little drive towards the guardhouse, whistling away, walking up there, and you hear a crack on the radio. I'm on my way up.
All right.
There's only one at the moment. He seems to be like about 5'5", but really super stocky. Wide rather than tall. He reminds you a bit like a badger, if you know what a badger is.
So he's coming towards the guardhouse then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Take him out quietly.
Um,
You have enough strength to crush his head, right? In your palms, right?
Do you want him to squeeze the brains out?
yeah.
Hey, it's like one of those, what was it? Those yogurt pops.
When you had mentioned much earlier when Mitosis was with Meredith, and you said he was really like small-handed, like kind of mousy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I just imagined like Mitosis like accidentally squeezing a little too hard and practically breaking his bones.
No, I don't think you wanted to do that.
It's funny because, like I'm imagining Mitosis as this big broly guy, but has like a proper way of speaking. Like he's all calm mannered and
English gentleman.
yeah.
I think Mitosis was kind of charmed by little Meredith. You know, he was such a cute little kind of frail guy, but he was kind of excited in different ways. Excited about your help and excited in a bad way about the loss of the head.
And I'm sure nobody's ever offered him a teacup before.
No. That was a good image. So, what's happening? What do you want to do with this guy that's coming towards you?
Well, as soon as we take this guy out, we're going to make our move.
So who's taking him out, or what are you doing?
Take him out quietly.
Yep, I'll take cover behind the corner, or wait for him to get to the guard shack where I can basically just reach out and grab him.
Well, actually, that's a good idea because you could approach the guardhouse from the other side.
Yeah,
he's coming up the pathway, which is just off to the side, and almost like reach round the corner. So as you hear him and you maybe see through the window of the guardhouse through the other side, you're maybe peering through the kind of dimness now through the window, and he has a look and he's like, "Are you there, Bob? Are you there?" And he's wondering where he is, and he's just right on the outside of the door. He's realised there's nobody in the guardhouse at all. So how do you want to do this?
I think I still have the walkie-talkie, so I'll just click it a couple times, make it sound like it's malfunctioning. I'm like, other side.
Cool. So you see his nose twitching, and he's like, he's heading round, and he's like, "What is that smell?" You know, it's not the usual stink. You know, it's something else. So he's kind of coming around, and he peers round the corner, and you see this guy with black and white fur going up his face, and his face is kind of elongated a bit, and his little black beady eyes kind of like open wider as they see the size of you. What are you up to?
I'm gonna try to bop him on the head. Just a simple little bonk.
Hit him with hit him with all you've got, yeah, like a cartoon. Go for it. What you want to hit him with, tags wise?
Let's go with boxing. I'm gonna use probably for all my fighting.
Yeah.
Bop it.
Bop. He's an animal, so bop/boop. Boop him on the nose.
Yes. Extreme booping.
Bone armor. No, not yet. Rapid healing. No. Change. No. Huge. I could probably tag huge to that.
I think you could, because you're probably almost towering over the height of him, and actually having the power down the way, that would make sense. Yeah, that would be a +2.
Okay. Yep, that'll be good.
Go for it.
Oh yeah, there we go. 11 +2.
Wow. So literally, it's like ding, you know, and the wee guy just slumps down. He's absolutely unconscious.
All right. Let's put him in a guardhouse, sit him in a seat, and make it look like he's asleep.
Yep. I'll drag the other 2 bodies in the guardhouse too.
Post-mortem looks at you and says, shall I put him out of his misery?
Oh, should I put him out of his misery?
So do you just kind of tie him up or just leave him lying there kind of thing? There's nothing really to tie him up with. So, okay, you now have 2 walkie-talkies, 1 unconscious badger and 2 dead beastmen.
Are these guys wearing clothes?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna have we're gonna set them up in like very compromising positions, unzip somebody's pants and just put them in certain and then have them like knocked out. So if they wake up, they're gonna be like, "Whoa, what the hell just happened here?"
Well, you've got 2 dead.
Nobody talks about this.
You've got 2 dead bodies and 1 unconscious body, so that would be a bit weird, but yeah.
Oh, they are dead, aren't they?
Bob, if I had only known.
Take a few compromising photos of them in case we need to blackmail them later.
Yeah, blackmail the badger. Yeah.
So okay,
right, so
let's move on. What do you want to do?
So I'm going to make my way up to the roof. Post-mortem is going to make his way up to the tower.
Mitosis, where are you going? And
Mitosis is supposed to be coming with me, right? Yeah, I mean, unless you don't want to.
Up on the roof, you mean?
Yeah, we're going to crash downwards.
All right, I can do that.
And overdrive.
Override.
Override. Sorry.
Override.
How do you want to approach?
I'm thinking myself that being on an upper level would actually slow me down. So I'm thinking of trying to stay within view of being able to watch you guys so I can act at the opportune moment. Because then at least at that point I can kind of read the area and try and act as quickly as I can to the guys that are already on the ground. So I'm going to stay on the ground level.
Okay.
And just kind of like try and hide around the outside.
That makes sense.
The building. Yeah.
That makes sense, especially if you're going to need to move fast. On the ground is a good idea. So Wayne, why don't you?
There are 2 points of entrance. The one that's towards where the fire is, and the one where the guy just walked out. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're approaching. You've just knocked a badger out. He's here, and you're approaching here. This door here is half open. So you can see in there. There's windows along all of the walls, and so you can see into that way. You can work your way around and go up to the roof easily that way. Or if you want to do a grappling hook, you can just get up on the wall. All of the other activities on the other side just now, and there's obviously some sliding door or something like that along there, or open doors. There's open doors.
Okay. So we're gonna make our way. I'm going to make my way to the stairs as Excalibur. Post-mortem is going to make his way to the tower.
To the tower, sure. Well, why don't you do a sneak around for you guys going to the roof, and why don't you do a sneak around for post-mortem for the tower? I think that's the easy way. And we'll say the override, you're fine for kind of getting where you want to be on the ground level, keeping your eye round this kind of half of the building if you want.
Okay.
Let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
These areas where you see the, I guess they're tan or orange, I don't know what color that is, but those shaded areas,
yeah.
What's actually there?
That's just kind of like grass and scrub round about there. That's just...
How tall is it?
It is overgrown. So yeah, potentially you could use that if you were, especially I think especially for post-mortem, if he's kind of going between there, crossing that pathway there, going across there. So yeah, I would say you could get a +1 if you use that for cover.
Yeah, that's the idea.
Yep.
All right, so here's for post-mortem.
Okay, he's got stealth, so that's +2.
All right, so
Alert as well.
So I rolled an 8, +2 plus the grassed area.
That's
so
okay. That's a good success.
All right, so he's making his way.
So we'll say that he is actually at the tower. He goes in like a ninja. He's at the back of the tower, and he's maybe climbing up something to maybe there's a stair or going into the building, and he's on his way up.
All right, this is for Cassandra. Wow. Okay, so that is a 10 plus the one for the grass.
Okay. Well, we'll say I would say that's a cool 10 because maybe you can use the grass here, but really to get up on the building, you need to kind of be around that building. So I'm pretty much same again. That's a perfect success, really. And we'll say that you and Mitosis are on the roof with a good roll like that. Yeah. Why don't just for fun, Jeff, you give us a roll anyway, and we'll give you an extra +1 for Cassandra's help. Is there anything you can tag for some?
You get the +1 for working alongside of me.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Is there anything you can tag for this?
I was looking already. I don't really see anything. And in fact, I was thinking I might be struggling with a weakness, but I don't want to jinx myself.
Yeah. Well, we don't need to go there because if you've only got a +1, it's going to be
okay.
Anyway.
All right. 4, 5, 6 plus 1 would be a 7.
Okay.
Plus the one for the one for working alongside of me.
Yeah, I think we added that already, did we not?
Oh, I thought that was okay. I thought you were just getting another. Okay, no problem.
So on a 7 to 9, there's a little complication. So somebody unimportant noticed you, but that just made them important, right? So Cassandra, almost ballet dances up the stair onto the roof, and you're climbing the stair, and one of the guys walking by seems to be a bonfire going now. It seems to be, they're really getting it going on the other side there. There seems to be a lot of activity. Post-mortem now can see from that building, from one of the windows, they're all just kind of gathering around, like getting the beer out or something like that. I don't know. But somebody kind of spots post-mortem and they're kind of on their way over. And
post-mortem or mitosis?
Sorry, mitosis. So they're kind of checking it out and wandering over to the side. Anything you want to do just now?
He's just by himself, right?
Yeah, he's just on his own.
So post-mortem is going to track him with his rifle.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as he's out or gets his way to the bottom of that stairwell, he's going to shoot him in the head.
Right, go for it. Hit him with all you've got then.
Yep. And wow, okay, so that's a 6 on a die, plus hit him with all you got.
Remember, so your tags would be, was it your rifle?
Yeah.
So that's +1. You've marksmanship +2.
All right, so that's 8, 9.
That's it, I think.
Okay. So he gets a 9 on that.
Okay, that's good. 7 to 9, you choose one. So you can take cover. Well, he doesn't need to do that. He's already got cover. You get them good, and you get many of them, which is +1. You control the collateral damage, so you can describe the actual collateral damage that takes place. You hold the target's attention, or you get a +1. Just.
So you said let's see, I get him good.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. We'll say, what was he going for? Was he going for a headshot or something like that?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. We'll see the guy just slumps down, but he's lying kind of at the side of that stairway. So Mitosis, you're closest to him. What do you want? Do you want to do something with the body?
Sorry, I zoned out.
So the body is kind of from the tower here. I'm guessing post-mortem's just shot down. The guy's lying at the side of the stairs, so you could do something with the body if you want, or you can leave it lying there. It's up to you.
I'll just grab him and just throw him over my shoulder like a bag of potatoes and bring him up onto the roof with me. Okay,
cool. So you guys are up on top here. So let me just describe what's going on. There's guys, beastmen, whatever you want to call them, spilling out of the other side. They're all gathering around the campfire and kind of got some drink with them and cans and stuff like that. And you see that huge guy I showed you earlier. He's moving around, and they're all. You can hear the voices getting carried over that they're calling him Bear, and they're all kind of seem to either be slightly nervous of him or think he's the best thing since sliced bread. They seem to have a lot of admiration for this dude. So
everybody that was inside is now outside.
Well, a lot of them are, and I would say that probably there's about 25 on the outside just now, maybe 30, and on the inside there's at least another 15. Just kind of milling about. You hear people cleaning up and stuff like that, and clearing stuff off the tables. It kind of looks like it's almost
a cleanly group for beastmen.
Sorry?
I said they're such a cleanly group for beastmen.
Yeah.
After they finish eating, they're gonna gather up all the dishes and
hey, we're beastmen, not animals.
Well, you notice that there's 2 or 3 of them walking over towards the runway, and they're doing the toilet over there, so they obviously don't mind doing the toilet out in the open anyway.
I have a question.
Yep.
If we're up on the roof, you said there were windows up there that we could look down into
into the middle, into the buildings,
Just doing a quick glance, do I see the statue, the headless statue? Or even the head?
It looks like the whole area has been cleared away, but apart from that, there's lots of tables out, which is just obviously like they all congregate for their food. There's about maybe 12, 13 tables or something like that. Big, long, kind of bench-type tables. And but you see, as you're kind of looking in the window, you see the kind of office space, some of the lights are on. And there's still quite a lot of crowd milling about on the inside, but they're on their way out. There's nothing that looks particularly. No, there's no statue. You can't see any statue.
Okay.
You see a small group. I'd say like a handful, and they're kind of all chattering together. And one of them in the middle looks like a hyena, and he's got a staff with him with some stuff on the top of the staff, like a little skull, and he's on his way out with another 3 or 4 of them as they come out the door. He seems to be another figure of influence.
All right, are we doing this?
We are.
So in total, we're saying what there's about 40.
All right, so post-mortem has his gun trained on the bear guy. However, when he sees this guy's figure walking out with his staff, and he's starting to put 2 and 2 together. Now, you said the guy with the staff, what type of animal does he look like?
A hyena. I was just showing him there.
Hyena? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so then he's going to turn his sights on the hyena guy.
Just as he's doing that, the big bear guy lifts his arms up and he goes, "Animals, beastmen, the time is coming for us to rise and take the city for ourselves." And they all start howling, "Woo, yeah!" and screaming and gibbering and making noises. And they're all kind of gathering around the fire, and the hyena's kind of going towards them to kind of be part of the party.
Okay, so Postmortem is going to hold the hyena in his sights. He's waiting for Cassandra's signal. Now, Cassandra is looking down, and I want to basically confirm something. So I'll let things begin to see who's doing what first.
Okay.
If the guy with the staff is starting to do some sort of chanting, that's when she's going to give her signal.
You've been playing too much Call of Cthulhu. Yeah. So you're not taking a shot yet. Is that what you're saying?
Right.
You're kind of watching how the dynamics are going to work. So what happens is the hyena one is not anywhere near as big as the bear, but he goes over with his staff, and the bear seems to be like rallying them up, and it's like building it into a bit of a frenzy, you know. And really, to kind of just cut it to the point, this is a revolution. It's the time of the animals. They're going to call the hunter, and they're going to take over the city. And we are the evolution. That's one of the things. And they're all, yeah! And the more Bear is inciting them, it's like you can see his leadership power, you know. You can see a genuine respect for the bear. You saw that in some of the body language. When the hyena comes in, you can see almost kind of nervous looks and glances, and he's standing next to Bear. So you realize that both of them have a lot of influence in different kinds of ways.
Right. Bear is the mustering of the forces, the drawing of the energy, and the hyena is the one who's going to manipulate that energy.
Yeah, the hyena kind of does the hyena noise, you know, and yeah, and he speaks up, and maybe a sec. He speaks up, and sorry, I was going to do something there, but it's not going to work. He says there is one more sacrifice to come, and the hunter will rise. We still need to get the body, and we haven't the plans, but it's time to go and take the church. And they're all going mental. Yeah. And just then, Postmortem sees the hyena. He can see all the hair in the back of his neck and back rise, like kind of, you know, what they do if they're ready for a fight. And the hyena looks right into the sight of Postmortem.
Oh, shit.
All right, and that's when Postmortem's going to fire.
Go for it.
All right, giving it everything I got.
I can say this, that when Postmortem sees him eyeballing him through the sight, he knows that the hyena knows that he's watching him.
Oh, man. Roll the 4.
And the roll shows.
So there's something about, I know we can go the pluses and all that, but, you know, you're going to get...
Yeah, I'm not going to make it. Actually,
yeah,
because that's only a +3, right?
Yep.
So that would make it a 7, but a 7 doesn't hit.
Well, we can say, let's say, rather than getting down to numbers and things, let's just say that perhaps it's a glancing shot across the shoulder of the hyena, right? But at the same moment, Postmortem in his dead state sees something that looks like a spectral form of the hyena rushing towards him, flying towards him, and like it, almost as if it's coming right through the lens of the gun. And there's this horrendous, like, cold. I mean, Postmortem is cold anyway, right? But there's this ice chill that goes through his body as a spectral form of the hyena attacks him.
Okay.
So post-mortem is going to need to roll toe-to-toe right now.
All right.
And I don't know if there's anything that he's got that would help. Martial arts isn't going to help. Marksmanship. We could give him potentially a +1. He can't die, and he's already dead.
Yeah.
Just because he's not terrified by this, whereas maybe somebody like
Okay, he rolled a 6, and you said I can get a +1 for.
so on a 7 to 9 you can choose one, and it's you either manage to achieve your goal, no, this is actually face danger, really. So you use your abilities to avoid an incoming hit, endure harm, resist a malign influence, and that's exactly what's happening here, or hold it together.
So I take a tier, a -1 tier.
Yeah. So you are, I would describe this as frozen, not as in.
Wait a minute. This is immune to. Yeah, I'm trying to read this one. Oh, here we go.
Is this one post-mortem?
Yeah. Is that immune to toxins, disease? Okay.
I would say let's just call this death grip, so it's a 1 status, okay?
Okay.
And it just feels frozen, not necessarily exactly with fear, but it's like some kind of spiritual trauma.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
And at the same time, the rest of you see the hyena's body slump down, and the big bear catches it as he realizes he's just been shot across the shoulder. Some blood splatter just on. So there's suddenly there's a confusion, and bear shouting, "What's going on? Get the strangers! We're being attacked."
I turn to mitosis, ask Cassandra, and I say, "You like pizza, don't you?"
You like what?
Pizza.
Pizza.
Pizza party on me once we get out of this.
You got a deal.
All right. I don't want to say like cowabunga or anything like that, but I'm going to jump off the roof like Ninja Turtle style.
Okay, let's go for it then. So you kick it off. You get the party started. You guys are jumping down. Tell me what you want to do. You hitting them with all you got?
Yeah. So for Cassandra, I don't know if I want to go for. I don't want to like take the spotlight or anything like that. But if anybody doesn't mind me going first,
yeah, go for it.
Do it.
All right. So she lands. I'm gonna put on glamorous.
Okay.
Right. I know it didn't work for me well last time, but this is going to be a little different. So she lands, and as she lands, she lands in like a sort of superhero pose, and she's got her arm outstretched, and she extends this bright, like golden blade from her hand, and she looks up at these beastmen, and then she just runs in and tries to go to town basically. So yeah, I'm giving it everything I got.
Okay, so you've got. Do you want to do tough as nails?
Yeah, I'm going to do that as well.
Glamorous, and basically your weapon.
Yeah.
So that's a +3.
All right. All right. So 7 + 3. So that's a 10.
Cool. Okay. So on a 10, you can choose 2 of hit them with all you've got.
All right.
I'll put it on the screen as well for us. And so you can secure a superior position. You can get them good and get many of them, +1. That doesn't necessarily mean you kill them. That means that they all take a status. You control the collateral damage. you get the target, hold the target's attention, or you've got the upper hand. You get a juice.
Take 1 juice. What is juice?
So that's a +1 to a dice roll in regards to the combat situation that you've just initiated. You can take that at any point during the combat.
And so I get to choose 2 of these?
You get 2 of them, yeah.
All right. So, I'm going to get them good and get many of them, as well as gain the upper hand, because the way I'm looking at it is postmortem fired his shot at the hyena. The hyena and him are in a struggle, but basically got everybody's attention.
Yeah.
Jumped down. Some of them turned around, like, what the hell? And when I ignite my blade, it started them anyway. And then I'm running in there and going full.
So as you get many of them, describe what is it you do? Is it some kind of sweep to knock them back, or what's happening?
Yeah. So like I run and I jump and sort of do a spin sweep, and as I spin sweep, the blade on my hand extends a bit and hits multiple targets.
So it's almost a little bit lightsaber-ish, where the thing stretches out and you're...
Yeah, I'm more thinking of Psylocke's power blade from the X-Men.
Cool.
Where she can extend it as far.
So what to do is roll a d6 for me.
Just one?
Yeah, and do 2. Let's do 2 for the fun of it. And let's say that's as many as are affected by the sweep.
All right. Wow. That is 6, 7, 8. 8.
So 8 figures kind of go stumbling back as you slash the blade out. And Mitosis, I want to remind you, when you helped Cassandra before, you've got a +1 if you want to use it at any point.
Okay. All right.
So you could do that just now, because obviously you're tag teaming. Describe what you do as you launch yourself off that roof.
First thing I'm going to do
is think of the toppings you want on your pizza.
He screams as he jumps off the roof, pepperoni!
And pineapple.
And pineapple. I want to yell out, bear is mine.
Okay.
But I don't necessarily want to attack him first. I kind of feel like I'm going to just try to clear my way to get to him.
Yeah.
So I'm leaping off the roof. I'm landing with a heavy thud.
Yep.
And
Hulk
I'm just
style.
And I'm just going to grab the characters, the Beastmen, smash them together, toss them like rag dolls left and right.
Absolutely. So you can definitely be stretching out multiple limbs and using your hugeness. So tell us all of your combat tags. And
I know. I was looking at this. I mean, I could I probably don't even have to roll with all the tags that I could use, but
go for it. Come on.
I think the way I'm picturing this is I'm going to invoke the huge tag, so I'm going to grow in size. I'm going to grow extra limbs, so I'm going to get 2 extra arms coming out.
Yep. Do you want the muscle building while we're at it?
Muscle building as well, and I'll probably stick it of those 3, focusing on the rapid cell growth.
Do you want to grow some armor?
Yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, I could use armor too, but at this point, I don't think I'm thinking armor. I'm thinking I have the upper hand no matter what.
Sure.
So
okay.
It's almost like a cocky attitude of
quite literally too. You've got upper arms, lower arms.
There's one above your head.
No, that's just going too far now. So
that's just ridiculous.
That's strontium dog behavior. So +3 then, I think, is what you're saying?
I think that's what I'm going to go for. I know I could probably do more because I still got boxing. I got a mean right hook.
What about filled with rage? This would be a good moment to be filled with rage.
Okay. Sure.
Let's just say if you don't hit them good, there's a hell of a lot of them going to be jumping on you. So let's go for it. +4, you've got an insane +4.
Nice.
I'm starting to think of the Avengers where all those Thanos guys were on Hulk, the Hulk armor, like trying to tag him up.
And of course now all this build up, and now the dice. Come on, the dice. Oh, I rolled an 11.
What?
Whoa.
What?
So you got 15.
15.
Okay. So a 12 in this game is seen as kind of like a critical with your pluses and all the rest of it. We don't even really need to, check the tags and all that. Jeff, describe to us what happens and how many of them go flying, or how you work your way towards bear. And we can say, if you want to, we can say that you finish up face to face with bear.
Yep. So it's pretty much like I was thinking, like I'm just pounding, punching, tossing one body into another, and just making like a straight beeline towards bear.
And Shep, why don't we say, because of your dice roll, you literally have thrown aside, punched, or knocked unconscious 15 different characters.
Nice.
So, I mean, this is like a steam train, going through, bundles of hay or something like that. They're just, everything's flying everywhere.
Yeah.
And you have ended up, and Override is just like, I can move fast, but that was mental,
Mr. Frank is so cool.
So, Override, tell us what you do as you follow up on the action here.
I know that my primary job given to me by Excalibur was to kind of keep an eye out for any armed people. So I'm gonna snap back from like my awe of seeing Mitosis do this rampage, and I start scanning across the room all the guards and figures that I can see, and see if excuse me, if any of them are raising their weapons or trying to train them on any of my friends.
Okay, I'm probably going to adjust something that I said earlier where some
Okay.
of them were armed. I think maybe there wouldn't be that many of them armed apart from the guys that are doing the security runs. But what you do see is about 5 or 6 either who are in the main building, because you've kind of been keeping an eye through the building windows and things like that, or on the other side start running towards where that kind of office space, it maybe used to be a shop or an office or something within the building, and it looks like they're running for stuff. There are some of them, however, that have things like knives and clubs and things. Maybe you see one with a handgun that pulls out the handgun. He's maybe one of the normal patrolmen, and he pulls out a handgun and he's trying to target Cassandra just now. So there's one pistol, and there's about 6 running into the space, and you hear one of them shout, "Get the weapons!" We'll also say that we won't go near Mitosis because he's just like knocking them all down, but we'll say that there's 2 people, there's 1 pistol and there's 2 knives stroke clubs coming in Cassandra's direction. So she's got 3 weapons coming her way, and then the other guys.
Okay. You said the one guy with a handgun was aiming at Cassandra?
He's trying to get an aim on her, yeah.
Okay. So what I would like to do is I want to try and use Act Just Before It Happens and Super Speed to kind of slow down the moment for myself.
Yep.
To see, I just heard the guy shout to go get weapons.
Yeah.
And I want to see if there's like a bin or like a barrel or something like that where like all the weapons are just kind of stowed.
Yep.
And I want to try and get over to it and see if I can like roll it out of the room or like relocate it in some way. But I want to, my primary focus at this point is, since I see the handgun, that's the immediate danger for me.
Sure.
And I want to make sure that I act before he pulls the trigger.
Yeah.
And what I would like to do is similar to the Quicksilver moment that we had talked about before.
Yeah.
Just before he pulls the trigger, I want to angle the gun so it hits at least one of the guys with the club that's heading towards Cassandra.
Okay, nice. Yep. So you're going to tag super speed, act before it happens.
Mm-hmm. So whichever one I can actually make sure I get to first. If I can, I don't know if there's any sort of, maybe for the roll, if there's some sort of hint that I can get to make sure that, I don't want to, I think Override's dilemma at this point is I don't want to focus on moving those other weapons out of the way if it means Excalibur could get shot.
So you've also got the power flashes of what was here before under your expanding senses.
Mm-hmm.
So as you're kind of stretching your mind out, you know that there is a big container in that room with lots of firearms, and like rifles and guns and handguns and things like that. So this is the world of your imagination. So you can do whatever you want to do with these tags. So you've got super speed, act before it happens, and I would suggest. What else do
I think I have an idea with that then.
Yep, go ahead.
So what I would like to do then is I have that flash of where the crate is, and it's got a padlock on it, and it's unlocked at the moment because we're able to store the weapons and stuff like that.
Sure.
But to slow them down and to make sure I could still focus on the guy with the gun, I want to use that burst of speed to go over there and lock the padlock, and then go back over and try and focus on the guy with the gun.
So I suggest we do a change of the game.
Okay.
Because you're going to use your abilities to give yourself or your allies an advantage here.
Okay.
So go ahead and your spatial sense. So that'd be a +3, I think it is. But if you want to use your spatial sense as well.
Yeah. So I can. I would say probably spatial sense to judge the distance between the two, which I could get done sooner.
Sure. Go for it.
7 and a 3. It's a 10.
It's a 10 +3, so you've got 3 power.
No, that was with the 3.
Sorry, 10. Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, what you've just described, you've created the story tag. You rush into the room, snap the big pad. It's a big old padlock. Snap it shut. A couple of the characters that are running, kind of, you can see to you in your eyes, are kind of slow mo. They're kind of looking at you like, what? And there's this blur going by. You snap it, and then by the time that they've kind of followed you, you've already passed back behind them as well, and you've gone over to the guy shooting at Cassandra. So you get 10. So you actually get 3 juice. That's 3 power.
Oh, nice.
Because of the tags that you did there. So you can also scale up the effect so you get greater area or more targets. You can prolong the effect, hide the effect, or any improvement that I agree on. So you tell me what you want to do with the guy with Cassandra. You want the guy to shoot one of his buddies. Is that right?
Yeah, I don't know exactly how they're lined up going in. I doubt I could manage to nail more than one, but I want to try and at least make sure I kind of trim down the amount of people heading in there.
Well, the one closest to Cassandra's got a large knife out, and Cassandra's back is turned towards him at the moment. So
definitely want to shoot him then.
Yeah. So that happens. The gun shifts like that, and then as you just slow down for a second, the gun shoots and hits that guy in the back, and he slumps down. And I guess Cassandra looks and gives you a wink. Okay, good stuff. So we have taken out, at the moment, there was 15 bodies on the ground, not all dead or unconscious, but mitosis knocked 15 out. Cassandra, you swept, how many was it again, about 6?
It was eight.
Eight.
Eight of them, yeah.
So, and there was a small party on the inside, and there's a bit of chaos and pandemonium. Bear, the bear character, as mitosis comes to bear, he kind of quite gently puts the hyena down on the ground. He seems to be unconscious as far as you can make out, and he lifts his arms up and absolutely roars at the top of his voice. And as he roars at the top of his voice, the guy that you see in front of him, you can see in the image, you know, he's kind of his arms half bare. He literally, hair just sprouts out of him and he bristles and he turns into this massive bear, like a big grizzly. And his maw opens up and there's saliva flying as he roars in your face. And I don't know about you guys, but time's gone on. Or do you want to play on, or should we stop here? There was no way we're gonna finish this tonight, I don't think. But it's up to you if you want to kind of finish this combat.
Well, next time
we can do next time.
Well, the next time Bill should be here.
Yeah.
He'll probably be a little upset at the predicament I have him in, but hey, that's
he's been attacked by a ghostly hyena.
Hey man, that's what happens when you don't show up to game night.
Now, I
deal
mean,
with these consequences.
As I'm like thinking, and you know, especially with my next moves, a few ideas popped up in my head too. Because I imagine after this particular set of adventures, we'll probably quote unquote level up and be able to get new powers.
Yeah. Well, saying that, what you want to do during the game is you want to tag your weaknesses. Okay.
Okay.
When you think like you're going to do well, if like in mitosis case you had +3 or +4, I think it was, in the end, you can always tag a weakness as well when you think there's a really good chance you're going to do well. And if you tag a weakness, or I tag your weakness in a move up 3 times in a game, then you level up. Basically, you begin to advance.
I forgot how that worked. All right.
That's okay. We can maybe do that next time round. Now, just to let you know, I won't be around for the next 2 weeks.
Same here.
So,
yeah.
And so we're looking at the beginning of September. I know you have uni coming up and all that. So what I'll do is I'm just going to end the recording right now.